everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcap, and there's another video on Raid Shadow Legends. I was feeling left out. I don't do tier lists. I've done a couple of top 10 type of thing, but I was feeling left out. Why was I feeling left out? Well, nobody invited me to the party. I know I'm the little guy. I'm the little guy on the totem pole. I'm the bottom rung of this great totem of, of amazingness, but I'm gonna take it on anyway because someone has to speak for the little guy. Here it is. We have Brad Chosen Erickson. We have Ash, Clash with Ash and Raid. You know who he is. He's an absolute beast. And Nub Kex, who is becoming one of my favorite YouTubers to actually continue to watch. I don't get a chance to watch a lot, but I make sure to hit up Nub. Nub Raids. Sorry, Nub Raids. Better call it. We've got multiple channels. These famous people, these big deal people have multiple channels. I got one channel. I got my second channel has 3 subs. So here we are. This is it. My tier list to counter their tier list. But let's hide this for now. And then I'll do my tier list. Then we'll see how close we are to the others who are clearly more famous yet decidedly less knowledgeable. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Settle down. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to do this as quickly as possible, too, because I value your time. I don't want to do a 30-minute, 40, 50-minute video. I want to try to get this in that 20 to 30 range. So, Ashlon. Positives, great crowd control, strong damage, very strong overall champion. Weaknesses is his #1 ability, arguably, is an AoE stun that can be countered with immunity or resistance, which makes it a little less, but he still does a lot of damage. I'm going to put him in A for now. Bivald, I'm going to be honest, I don't have this champion. And so this is going to be a bias. I know a lot of people are speaking highly of him in the Hydra, but if that's all, I'm going to put him in B. Again, this one is the asterisk. It's the only champion of all these champions that I've never used, and I don't have on my account. So give me a break on that. My initial feeling, Brago, gosh, early game, mid game, anyone who doesn't have, okay, you might have an unkillable, you might have a block damage, but the reality is there are a whole lot of players out there that don't. And if you don't, Iron Brago was such a good champion. He's such a good champion for sustain and keeping people alive. So we're going to put him there. I'm going to put Brachus in C. I do think I could even argue him for B. The reality is his time in Arena has come and gone. He's too easily countered. He's too unimpactful even if he's not countered, given how everyone has built up really beefy, high HP solutions for the Arena right now in gold 4, 5, and above. Now, if you're in the in the nuking phase or the gold 4, gold 5, you're just farming, probably Brack is still good for you. I give him a B in my world because I use him in my clan boss, but overall probably I can agree with a C. Brogni S tier. If you can't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. Cillian F. He's the exact antithesis of everything Brogni is. Drokul, I'm gonna put Drokul B, and we'll talk more about that when I grade these guys within each letter, but we're gonna give him a B. Alagai's probably my least favorite champion. She looks amazing, but it ends there. Foley A, I might have a slight bias because I have a really well built Foley. Gaius, I think just his bombs and his abilities put him in A. Gerptok is a guy, I really like him. I'm going to try to create some Whisper comps with him when I get my silver back up there. But right now, the reality is he's kind of been pushed out by high-level Doom Tower. The fact that max HP is capped at 10%, part of his big deal was he was able to just amplify that damage. But if it's capped, what are you amplifying? So that's why I'm curious to see him with Whisper, who is one of the few champions left that can do big damage without enemy max HP. Harvest Jack, same thing. Harvest Jack's really good, and I think you can make him really strong, but I think if you have the level of gear needed to make Harvest Jack that endgame player, or that endgame champion, you probably have other champions that are just better served to do that. Helicath, I can't argue it. He's S tier. I'm not a fan. I honestly, Hertig is underwhelming to me. I know everyone else. I'm probably in the minority here. I think everyone else probably loves him way more than I do, and I think there is some niche places where he's really good. He can do Nightmare Campaign. He can, things against Fae, any turn meter, but there's so many places where I just feel like I don't like him. Now, he is a nuking champion. and I'll say this for every nuking champion. If that's your first nuking champion, it's an S tier. If you get any of these champions, Astra, if you get Astralon, and that's your first real damage dealer, that's a great pull. If you have 5 damage dealers, if you have Ethos, Trunda, Hefrak, and then you pull, Astralon, well then you don't have a nuker. You don't need another nuker, but you still have a good crowd control. Just to give you kind of my mindset on this, okay? Kantra enables so much that she's probably B tier. I'm putting her in A tier because I believe that once you start building pieces around her, I actually created a brutal full auto, except for just targeting, full auto team using Kantra in the Hydra and using counterattack with Valkyrie. So don't discount what Kantra can do for you. I will, of course, acknowledge that she's probably less impactful for new players, though the fact that she can weak hit and place debuffs is still a very, very strong skill. Karato, isn't this Karato? I don't like him. I don't even remember your name. That's how much I dislike you. You're an F tier to me. I've never been. If you have Yumiko, excellent. He's better. But if you need a Void Legendary champion to be better, then you're not good. That's just. Kreela, I believe, is one of the most overrated. I still know she's B, but I see a lot of people that rate her way higher. The reality is that I think that every other legendary ally attack champion is better than her. Every single one. Even the Lanatharal, I believe is his name, is better than her because she doesn't take one of the champions. And she doesn't hit who you target. You could be anyone. And that is so... I hate that RNG thing. She's still really good. She hits, she nukes. She hits hard. And that's a big deal. But overall... I like her, I understand her, but I just like the others. But I use Farrakhan over her most of the time, unless there's an affinity issue because she's magic, and Farrakhan and Epic is a spirit, right? And speaking of which, there is Lanatharal. I think, well, I'm not going to do the ranking yet, but I think he's just better than she is. I know a lot of people probably don't agree with that, but he does put up crit damage. He brings everyone along with the ally attack. Plus, he's got way more survivability kit than she does. So, especially the earlier in the game you are, I think the more important he is because he's high HP, putting up shields, getting through shields. I think that's just such a great deal. Molly, A tier, just... I think she fell down a bit, but she's coming back up as the meta shifts in Arena. But overall, if you ever need to control an enemy team, even in PvE, where she probably saw their most use early on, I think she was really good for... I used her for dragon progression originally. So very strong champion. I think she gets forgotten, but she shouldn't be. Mighty Uko, definitely an S tier. Just what he can do in Hydra and what he can do in the arena for you is amazing. He also shaved about a minute off my Skinwalker's time. Block debuff or block buffs on the boss, who then swaps with you. So you still get all your debuffs. He still takes all the buffs, but he doesn't put them on himself. And that can be the difference between life and death when you think things like crit damage and strengthen and all these other abilities. If that boss can't steal them, it just makes life a whole lot easier for you. Mother Sybil, everyone else likes her. I dislike her. I know I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but honestly, I don't think she's a great champion. I think that health swap is too dangerous. And I just think there's so many better champions in the game that offer you more consistent survivability than her. I think there's a lot of champions that offer better. Like if I had to choose her for survivability or Scylla the Drakes, why am I using her? Because she has an aura. Scylla the Drakes has the revive, doesn't potentially kill you by stealing your HP at a bad time. I know people like her. I'm not one of them. Nari, I'm going to put him in B, and I think we haven't seen the most of Nari. The reality is he has a decreased resistance, decreased accuracy on the same skill on a 3-turn cooldown. And if you can get that to work for you in Hydra, now he does have some issues in Hydra with buff. But when you're decreasing the resistance of every other and accuracy of every Hydra head, and just make your accuracy, you can make your resistance 300 on your whole team. You make your accuracy 300 on your whole team, and the decreased resistance, decreased accuracy, plus maybe a buff extender. I think Goddess Neri does debuff extend and buff extend. Who does debuff? Anyone who does debuff extend, I'm losing my head right now. Say you use Vizier, say you use Warlord. There's a couple others. I'm trying to remember who they all are, and it's blanking me. But I think that just makes him very viable in the Hydra. So, though I still have yet to make that team, I think that I have to put him B because of his kit. Oh, pardon, not a big fan. I think maybe early mid game he would be a lot stronger, but he falls off really quickly, in my opinion. And for a legendary to fall off that quickly, I'd be scared to put books into him just because he's going to fall off the face of the earth. Pixneal, 18 books to pseudo counter freeze, which is really not a huge component of the game at this point. Not very good. Rosin gets a lot of flack. Why? He's basically free, I say, right? A basically free champion. He's a permanent fusion. He's one of a few champions with decreased defense and weaken on the same ability on a 3-turn cooldown. He's a clan boss stud, whether you're in a block damage or a standard, especially a standard because he's defense based. You put him with Iron Brago, you get Valkyrie as well. I know those are 3 legendaries, but if you happen to get those 3 on your team, you can outpace and outdamage traditional unkillable teams. I promise you that. You just add like a Draco into the mix, or a Tahanarok really good, anything like that, where you can something where you can cleanse stuns, you can add poisons to the fight, and my word, you don't even need Draco. You need poison. Use Frozen Banshee. Use Annex. Use whatever. I think that people forget about how good someone like Rosin can be. Rourke, alas, for I knew him poorly. He is trash. I'm going to give Rhodos. Rhodos is such a key counter to Unkillable. Such a key counter to it. He negates so many different things you can do on defense just by being such a hard nuker with the ability to ignore it and block revive at some point during a battle. I'm going to put him B. Ruel. I think he's probably the second best Hex fighter after Mithrala. The reality is, I think he's underutilized in a lot of areas. Thank you to Teruku for putting out that video on Ice Golem. That's where I use him now. But I think that I really want to try to get him more involved into the Hydra because I think it's a miss. Him and Nari both, I think, are a real miss. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Problem is too much RNG. I mean, here's a guy who puts buffs up, but maybe puts this buff, but maybe puts this up. Maybe you get a heal, maybe you don't. Maybe you get a revive on death, maybe you don't. Maybe you get you can't be bothered. There's epics that are better tuned for this. Yes, he does have a great A3 with a decreased speed and a turn meter decrease, I believe it is, or is it an increase? I can't remember which. But overall, that's not enough to make this champion any good. Sigurd. God, I'm going to put him in B because I read his kit and I think it's stronger than I've been using it for. I tried testing him. I really didn't feel strong, but I think that's my fault. I'll put him on the back end of B, but I think he's still a B champion. Sir Nick is an A. I don't know how people have cooled off on this guy. Best damage shields in the game. Puts an unkillable. Puts a continuous heal. And has a 50-50 chance to free someone on A1 that cannot be resisted. I'm sorry. You're missing. If you don't think this champion's good, great aura, by the way. Come on now. Vargal has some limited uses, but where they are and if you have the gear, more of a late game, end game. But he can be used in Hydra. He can be used in Arena still, though it's kind of cooled off considerably. But overall, I just think he's a really underutilized champion. Tatura, a lot of people like Tatura. I like him or it. I'm not that hot on it. I like the accuracy piece. I like the 2-turn block. So there's a lot to like. The Veil. We're probably gonna throw it towards the strength of it. I just don't feel it's enough for an S. I feel like she is not quite Duchess level. It's just a step down from Duchess. Now I put Duchess S, and that even though they're not fusions, I get, but she's not fusion. But I get that. I'm just saying. Same with Tormund. I think Tormund used to be S. I think that there's more and more people are getting more and more options to deal with freeze, none of which are Pixneal, by the way. So I think that drops him to A, still very strong. I do not like Vergamkar, is that his name? I don't like him. I think there's some limited use for him, but nah. Versulf, I originally, when I first kind of thought through this through my head, I think I had him down here. But he is an ally protect, does give a leech, does have some taunts. So I would say the ability, the usage is there. Probably a Hydra usage, but I no more than C, a low C. Vlad, same thing. Some limited use. I've seen some people kind of showcase where you can use them, but I just think it's not enough. And the gear requirement on him, I think, is obscene. He needs to just hit harder. Just make him hit harder, right? So that, like Astralon can hit hard or stun or both, depending on your gear level. I think Vlad doesn't have that same and ability. It's like hit okay or maybe not and do fears and all the rest of stuff. It's a neat kit, but I'm not a big fan of. Drang, solid B, great. HP burn is so prevalent now among epics like Mordecai, and you get the new Skrank. I just don't know if he's strong enough to be like that level, but I do. He's still a very strong champion that has heals, has the HP burn, looks cool, has a ton of HP, so I'm okay with that. Yoshi, I want to put Yoshi A because of how important he's become for a lot of people in the arena to counter high resistance, like Mithrala, for example. But outside of that, I don't find a lot of use for him. So, and the fact that I have Lady Kimmy means I have no use for him. I use Kimmy. Now, he does have an aura, a speed aura, all battles, 19%. So that means he is good for arena, giving you that speed boost. But to me, I'd still probably use Lady Kimmy instead with like a Kymar, because then my Kimmy is actually activating Kymar to be able to strip. I don't think I need Yoshi. I don't need that 19 aura. Now we got two left. This is an unknown. I feel like her and Ruel have a home in Hydra that's going to be big. And I'm going to build it with Nari. In fact, the three of them. I'm going to build it one day. I'm going to have enough silver. But let's face it, for now, until I can prove myself, I think she's in C tier. But she has the potential to be a solid B, maybe even an A. And then finally, Morgaine. Morgaine. Depending on where you are in your life, she could be A to C. I have two Lissandras, and I've actually kind of semi-retired them outside of Faye. And so, arguably, meh. But I do understand that she is a decent... I honestly, the thing that shocked me the most, and that's why I'm going to put her B, is, and I almost feel like putting her C, is I put her in my undead team to speed that team up and better consistency against the Valkyries. And honestly, didn't do anything for me. Maybe a little bit more consistent, but no quicker. So again, it's unfortunate. But I think if you need a turn meter manipulator, you got one. I think that Sylar might be as good as her, except for Aura, which does put a knock against her, but maybe not. I think she has an overall better kit. Sylar just more accessible, cheaper to build, right? So anyway, there's my list. There's the list. I'm good with it. So now, actually, you know what? Before we do this, I want to put them in order. I want to put them in order because I think that's an important distinction too. So this is actually the order I'll keep them in this order. For this, I think Tatura, Tormin. I think Molly needs to be up here. I think Gaius is probably there. I think Sir Nick there. Maybe not. Maybe that. I think we're going to do that. Probably that. And probably that. That. All right. That's good. And then here, that. I'm going to shock the world by saying way up there. And then I'm going to shock the world again. Actually, he needs to be probably like that. Nari, no, I think she's more important. Ruel, I think Drang, and I think Sigurd. And then here, I think probably that. Come on, get in there. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then you're the worst ever. You're second worst. I'm actually pretty good with that. Okay, we're good. All right, so that's... All right, now it's time to take a look at us. Me versus Nubkex. Oh, sorry, I'm actually kicking you off the screen here. Let's do that a little bit better here. I mean, who does that? There we go. Okay, so what I see here is some similarity. Let's just take a look at highlight the big differences. I see him very big on Sybil, on Sigurd, Vargal, and Shamrock. Very strange to me. And Herndig, and I've talked about it. And Bivald, I understand. Kreela, again, there's another one. And Lana Thorell, he just doesn't... No one seems to like this guy. I don't understand it. I'm going to build him out. I'm going to test him versus Kreela. I think he's better than her. Or at least the same. So that's the big deal there. Is there any other big shockers on the bottom rung? No. I think Dracul doesn't get enough love. I think he's a lot better than that. Watch Jay Giggs early free to play when he gets Dracul and basically does all the things he shouldn't be able to do once he gets them for free to play. So watch that. B tier on Sir Nick. I think that is... A lot of people kind of do that. I don't agree. Other than that, not a whole lot of shockers. We're in the same realm with champions. I don't know if he ordered his champions either. So, pretty interesting. I think the shocker to me is how many people really feel big on Herndig, even more so on Mother Sybil, and I think I'm wrong with Sigurd, and people agree I'm wrong, and Vargal. This shocks me. And Shamrock with so much RNG. Why is that a good thing to have that much RNG? Like, where is that useful? I'd be curious to find out. I think those are the big shockers, I think. And Kreela versus Lona Thorell. I'm still not convinced. All right, so let's move forward. I'm sure he's got... there's... Okay, so there's... No, he's hidden. Do we have one where his stuff ain't hidden? We all have this... We all do this. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, because it's kind of hidden. Be kind. Ash, also be kind. Ash. It's been a while, man. Let's do something. Be kind. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Any big shockers? He really likes his guys. But these, like shuffling back and forth between top A versus bottom S, I don't think that's a huge deal. Another Bivald, I guess. I don't know. Whoa, that's okay. So the big one I see is Harvest Jack so high. Mother Sybil, again, don't agree. Rosin Love, thank you. Nari is an A tier. That's shocking. And again, another Shamrock and Sigurd lover. Okay, tell me, explain to me. And Vargal. I don't understand. That's where I need help understanding. I don't understand that. On the negative side, again, another one who doesn't like Lathunaral. How do you put her in A tier and him in C tier? I don't get it. I don't get it. B tier Vlad, I'm not sure I'm on top of. Same with Karato. I don't... Is that his name, Karato? I don't... I've tried using him. If you don't have Yumiko, I don't see why he's good. Let me know. Yeah. But, most of the bottom rung is very similar between us. Some shuffling back and forth. B tier with Group Tuck, I think, is a little bit brave. I don't know a better way to put it. Just it seems outdated, but I could be wrong. And then finally, there's Brad there. Oh, no. Let's get a little bit... talk about... Thanks for doing all the hard work, Kex. Another Herndeg lover. Let's okay, hold on.
So his S tier is more...
No, I'm going to get copy protected. Nub's going to claim my... Copyright claim me. It's transformative. It's transformative. More than meets the eye. All right, let's put me up here against Brad. Now, I understand that Chosen actually changed his, that he has a follow-up one, because the way he did this tier list was based on the time of fusion, how impactful they were, as opposed to how they are now. But let's just take a look here. Again, Herndig, lots of love, don't understand it. Loves Morgaine more than I thought. Rosin should be an A. I know he moved. I saw it. I know he moved him to C. Wrong. I will say till I'm blue in my face. Rosin, for all levels of account at all times of the game, is such a good champion, and the number of defense down weakened AoE champions is not a lot. It's Lydia, which you don't get until you are late game / end game because you finished Faction Wars, and Venus, who's a Void legendary and should be better than a free Force Affinity, relatively free Force Affinity nuke defensive based champion who has a single target. Like, I just don't understand why there's such a bias against him. Pro Rosin. Anyway, what else we got here? Yoshi and B. I feel like it's Hydra is the difference maker, and obviously Arena. But I've kind of already stated why I think Arena might be a little bit overstated for him. But I think Hydra might be the missing link. Sybil, he puts in B. I don't understand. Versal B. I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, Iron B, A. You know, whatever. He likes Sigurd as well. Interesting. Lower Astralon love. That's surprising. I can't believe Marinix or whatever her name is. Oh, look, here's another one. Although he's closer between Lethuneril and Kreela. Confirmation bias or something. I don't know. Any other big shockers? I know, like, he's got Vargal more where I think he is, and same with Shamrock. So be interesting to see why he's got Bivald lower than I do. That's a shock. And he's got Ruel F tier, and that's absolutely incorrect. That's probably the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest miss is that Ruel is not an F tier champion. He isn't. I'm sorry. He hits too hard. He's got too cool of a kit. And just because we don't use Hex as intended in Hydra doesn't mean it can't be and shouldn't be. That's on us. And I think people that have Ruel and don't have 100 legendary champions would probably find him amazing. Yeah, they're mostly the same. There's a few, like, again, another undervalued Cernic. Molly, I think, is undervalued. Gerptuk is way overvalued, I think. Again, same reasons as with Ash. So there you go. That's it. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below who missed what, where, when, why. Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you. And hey, to the other content creators, if you happen to see this, I feel like here, let's do this. If you happen to see this and you want to do any sort of collab, let me know. Reach out. We'll shout it out, talk it out, see what you think, see what we think, and see if we can't come up with something more complete. But thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.